Hi everyone, we're going to graph a parabola, a quadratic function that's in standard form, and we need to, this is an introduction to quadratic equations. So we want to talk about some of the lingo and everything. So we're looking at number one, some of the properties are A. So if our A is positive, that's what this means. Don't say A is greater than 0. What we want to say is this just means A is positive. So if we have a positive A, our parabola opens up. And this says if A is negative. So if our A is negative, this A here, then it means it opens down. In the previous video, we already talked about narrower and wider. So if A is bigger than 1, then it's going to be narrower because that's more of a stretch. You can, like a rubber band, stretch it and it gets narrower. But if you're weak, so if the absolute value of A is less than 1, it means you're weaker and it flattens out and it's a shrink. Some teachers call it compression. In this video, we're going to talk about the axis of symmetry and the vertex. We're going to talk about it more. I'm going to do one graph, and then we're just going to do get used to these formulas here. The axis of symmetry is the line that if you, when you fold the parabola together, it should match. This is not a very good drawing, but it should match. And this is the formula to get your axis of symmetry, negative b over 2a. So we're going to use this b and a. And the vertex, part of the vertex is x equals negative b over 2a. That's the x component. And I will show you how to get the y component. And the y-intercept is your c, and it lies on the graph. So your y-intercept, this is a point that lies on the graph. This should be a little wider here. And so we're going to do one example of this, and then the next ones we're just going to find this axis of symmetry and the vertex. In the following video we will do more graphs, but we're going to do one graph, and in the next video we'll do more of these. So basically we want to graph this. And the first thing we want to determine is, does this open up or down? So this is going to open up, upwards, like your hands up over your head. And because this 3 is positive, so it opens up. All right, that's step 1. A is positive, so it opens up. Step 2 is we're going to have to find and draw the axis of symmetry. So that is x equals negative b over 2a. So it's negative, and b is negative 6 over 2 times 3. 2 negatives make a positive, so this is going to equal 1. Now, as promised to find the y-coordinate, all you're going to do is like in a table of values here. When you have an x, what do you do to find the y? You just plug it in. So when you plug in 1 here, you're going to get 3 times 1 squared minus 6 times 1 plus 2. And when you do that, you're going to get negative 1. So that is your, the x part of this is your x part, and this is your y part. So your vertex is going to be at 1, negative 1. Let's plot that. 1, negative 1. So there's where we start. Okay? And our axis of symmetry is x equals this. So x equals 1. So I'm going to draw my line, x equals 1. All right. We have a stretch here, so what I'm going to do is, I already have this one, negative 1, and I need one more point. Well, all I'm going to do is use my y-intercept. My y-intercept is 2, so 0, 2. So when I go over here and go to 0, 2, I'm right there. And since this is my axis of symmetry, this is over 1 here, and this is over 1 on this side, because it has to match up. Now, I did a lot of writing over here, so, basically you can just kind of sketch the drawing. You can get more points if you want, and that would be your graph. Okay? So the next video we're going to do a lot more of these graphs, and we can also plot this point. This point here is 2, 2. This is 2, 0 because it's symmetric. We have plenty of points here. But right now all we're going to do is practice this 2 part. Okay? I want to make sure you get that down first. So no more graphs. We will do that in the next video, and we're just going to do finding the axis of symmetry and the vertex. So we're going to find the axis of symmetry and vertex. And you need to get this part down, and then we can start graphing these in the next video. So for the first one, we have y equals 2x squared minus 8x plus 6. So my axis of symmetry is going to be x equals negative b over 2a. So I'm going to plug negative, my b is negative 8, and then I write down 2, my a is 2. If you want, you can write this down. A equals 2, b equals negative 8, and c equals 6. And we can do the c part too. So 2 times 2, all right, I already see here that 2 negatives make a positive, so that's going to be 8 over 4. That equals 2. So this is x equals 2 is my axis of symmetry. So you want to write axis of symmetry. All right, now to find the y component for our vertex, we're going to do the vertex now. So I know my vertex part 2 is part of my vertex, the axis of symmetry. So all I'm going to do is plug in 2 here, y equals 2, and plug in the 2. 2 squared minus 8 times 2 plus 6. Now that, always do the square part. So 4 times 2 is 8, minus 16 plus 6. And I try to do what's easiest. So to me this looks easy. That's negative 10. So 8 minus 10 is negative 2. So y equals negative 2. This equals our y. So that's your vertex. And I'm going to go ahead and do the y-intercept. The y-intercept is always where x is 0. So when I plug in 0 here, equals y, this all cancels out because that's 0, so y is 6. So we found 3 things there. All right, let's do a couple more. Let's do y equals x squared minus 6x plus 11. So I want to find the axis of symmetry. First step. Which we know is negative b over 2a. So a is 1, b is negative 6, and c equals 11. So I only need b and a here. So I have negative 6 over 2 times 1 is 2. This equals 3. So x equals, what did I put y? Oh, because that was symmetry. The axis of symmetry is x equals negative b over 2a. So x equals 3. Now, to find the vertex, so the vertex is going to be 3 something, and all you do is you plug in this 3 into our equation here. So y equals 3 squared minus 6 times 3 plus 11. That's 9 minus 18 plus 11 is a y. Y equals negative 9 plus 11 equals 2. So my vertex, this is my vertex, is 3, 2. And my y-intercept is when x is 0, what is y, and it's always the c. My c is what? When it's in standard form. So that's going to equal 0, 11. Okay, and we can do one more. We have y equals negative 3x squared plus 24x minus 22. So the first thing I want to do is find my axis of symmetry, which is negative x equals negative b over 2a, which equals negative 24 over 2 times negative 3. We have two negatives, that makes a positive. So 24 divided by 6 is 4. So my axis of symmetry is x equals 4. Now I want to find my vertex, which the 4 is part of. And so all I do is plug in my 4 in here. And that looks way too big. So negative 3 times 4 squared plus 24, 24 times 4 minus 22. So all I did was plug in my 4 here. So we have 4 squared is 16 times 3 is negative 48 plus, what is this, 1696 minus 22. Now what I'm going to do, since I don't have a calculator handy, I'm going to combine those two first. So that's just me. So that's going to be negative 70, I hope, plus 96. It makes it easier, so my answer is 26. So it's 4, 26 is my vertex. And my y-intercept is very easy. My y-intercept is 0, c, which is 0, negative 22. So those are the three things. Now, make sure you know these formulas for the next video, because we'll go over that quicker, and we're going to concentrate on graphing quadratics functions, or we can call them parabolas, that are in standard form, meaning in this form. Basically, standard form means ax squared plus by plus c. That's standard form. Okay, and have a nice day.